Greenwashing, it is such a minefield in the beauty industry. I'm going to take you through natural and organic and what on earth is going on. One of the first things I do when I walk into a new spa is teach the therapist what natural, organic, and greenwashing cheating are. And throughout the organic series, it kind of makes sense to start with this because this is step one. You've got to know these parts, and nobody wants to tell you this for some reason, and all organic other brands kind of ignore this and go for the top as if there's some sort of implication you should know what is going on. There isn't. Now, I have a way with my therapists of doing this, and it's a bit of an art class. So we're going to do a Kirsty art class of natural and organic. It involves some trees and a Sharpie and a near on art degree. Just watch. Okay. That is not a cloud, it is a tree. Okay. That's the soil, and that's its roots, and we're going to grow some stuff on the tree. A-level art. They are not Christmas tree baubles, they're apples. Okay, so that is one tree. I'm going to draw you another one. Top one's our natural tree. More Christmas baubles. Or I'm going to make the top one the organic tree because he looks nicer. See where my biases are. Okay, if you're going to get an apple and you walk into a supermarket, skincare is no different to food. You will have a natural grown apple, and then you're going to have an organic grown apple sitting on the shelf. And this is what it's about. It's about growing. It is literally about growing, and it is about the soil. So the major difference is your third option, other than this, would be, don't know if you can see this, Jules. That's a factory. So when you go to make a beauty product and you want an ingredient, you've got these kind of three options. You're either going to go and get a synthetic version, which is either being completely synthetically derived, or it may have been a natural ingredient that they've tinkered with and made synthesized, or you get the natural version, or you get an organic version. Now, in our world, the synthetic one is just out. What you then come down to is natural and organic. So I said it's soil, it's growing, it's about the farmer, and it is no different to food. You need to care about it like you do your food. The fundamental major difference is what Mr. or Mrs. Farmer Giles can do to the soil. So on a normal farm, which to be fair is the vast majority, they will be allowed to put whatever they want into the soil. So this is where we have to draw a watering can. Draw one up here too. Okay, so my natural apple tree, farmer can put whatever they like into the soil to help the plants grow, to prevent insect damage, to increase yields and get bigger crops. Okay, and then what happens on an organic farm is that this watering can, probably like maybe a bit bigger than a watering can, like a few cultivators and machinery, but we'll call it a watering can. See them tinkering around. That is completely controlled. So that will have to be fertilizer, pesticide free. There is a whole barrage of regulations about what can and can't go onto that soil. And that is fundamentally the difference between natural and organic. It's all about the watering can. So natural and organic are not the same. Neither are bad comparatively to the synthetic world, but they're not the same. Fundamentally in organic, you get the elite version of the soil. The massive downside of that though is that you will also get a decreased yield of crop because it's not so easy to stop the slugs growing. You get more wonky looking vegetables and plants. You don't always get the kind of beautiful, shiny, pesticide cover red rosy apple. And that will inherently be more expensive because there is less of it. So neither one has got absolute pros and cons, but I just for once and all want you to know what they are, because everyone confuses this word. If you went into your local town with a clipboard and asked most women, are natural and organic the same? I reckon 99% of them would say yes. Worse still, if you went to most major department stores in your country and went around all of the brand desks and asked them if natural and organic were the same, particularly the ones that have got leaves and green and look natural, they will say, yes, it's completely natural and organic. Those two words stick together as if they're the same thing. They are not the same thing. And later in the episode, I'm going to take you through the different certification bodies to prove organic versus natural and how they differ, and how you're allowed a mixture of natural and organic. And if you want to be organic, like Pink's Boutique is organic, for instance, you have to have at least 70% organic under our certification board, Soil Association. But I'll save that detail for another day, because you start to realise how many people are just barefaced lying, or to be honest, not even lying. They're misinformed. They don't know. Their brands haven't taught them properly. So natural and organic, separate them, think of them differently. Remember the watering can, slightly different. And fundamentally, organic is the elite version. That's the thing the organic industry doesn't really talk about. They talk about health and the toxin reduction and the fact you're not being poisoned by pesticides, which is awesome and clearly a massive selling point. But what they don't talk about in skincare is the prestige element. There is just literally less of it. It's like a limited edition food or a limited edition wine. Like, you've got such small areas of land producing those ingredients globally and making them the cleanest versions. So if anyone asks you if natural and organic are the same, say no. Explain why. Talk about the watering cans, and alarm bells should ring in your head if you speak to someone in a brand and they say the words totally, completely, and 100%. So it's all totally natural and organic. It's all completely natural and organic. I'm going to take you in the next organic episode through why that is very difficult. Why totally and completely normally indicate to me someone that doesn't know what on earth they are talking about. Totally organic is pretty much going to get you an oil. Totally natural, viable, but not if it's a cream, because it would have to have some element preservative in. So some snippets in what we will look at next. I love talking to you about this, and what I want you to be walking around salons, spas and beauty departments and literally feeling empowered, like you know more. Like, I want you to be able to navigate on your own and literally not listen to the very lovely made up people behind those desks telling you mistruths. Like, you need to be able to work it out yourself. Remember nothing but the truth, and everything has pros and cons. I've just told you there are some real negatives of organic versus natural, and vice versa. You just need to know so you can make informed choices. The best way to navigate through the skincare world is to understand it, so that you know who is telling you the truth, who is not telling you the truth, and which bits are marketing. We're going to take this a step further next time, and I cannot wait for you to join me.